diverse, property-owning, business-building, liberal democracy. I'm very proud of that and proud to oppose this stupid bill.
The member's time has expired.
Speaker.
I call Louisa Wall.
Tēnā koe te māngai o te whare. It is my pleasure to speak on the Broadcasting Games of National Significance Amendment Bill. I would like to acknowledge Clayton Mitchell, whose name this bill is under, but I think he missed a couple of words from the title because he assumes that the game should be for free and also live. The sport and recreation industry has an economic value on it, and I found a Lincoln University report that was published in 2015 that basically said it's worth $5 billion. And this is the sport and rec industry. These are all the national sporting organisations. The physical and human infrastructure, which are all the stadium, they're worth another $800 million. And the market value of volunteers is about $1 billion. So in total, the sport and rec sector is worth $5 billion. Now, the value of broadcasting to that industry to produce, deliver and screen sport live on Sky is worth $175 million. And that's incredibly relevant when we look at the intention of this piece of legislation. So rugby is, in 2015, I looked at the annual report, their income was $133.7 million. Of that, 0.5% was received from the government. And it's really interesting to know what and why the government invested that $670,000 in rugby, and it was actually to support Tier 2 sports, which are the sevens teams, both the men and the women's. So the contribution of the government to rugby, which is a 123-year-old institution in our country, was $670,000. So the shortfall, if we were to take away the revenue from Sky, would actually be $52.8 million. So maybe the person who's proposed the legislation can answer the question of who's going to provide that $52.8 million to the rugby union. I found it quite interesting, this whole debate, because, as I said before, the premise is that there isn't free-to-air screening of sport in New Zealand, and it's not true. So of the sports that are listed, 96% coverage for Prime across New Zealand. Rugby World Cup matches, the last Rugby World Cup, the opening match, the quarterfinal, the semi-final and the final were live, and it was free. All Cricket World Cup matches, well, the semi-final and the final were live and they were free. All domestic one-day cricket internationals, same, they were live and they were free. And all Football World Cup matches involving New Zealand, last time we played, they were live and they were free. So the Lions, who are coming soon, it's not going to be live, but actually there will be delayed coverage on Sky. So everyone who wants to watch those 3 All Black tests in June will be able to. And coverage will start an hour after kick-off. So the whole premise of this bill is that sport isn't free and New Zealanders don't have access to sport in this country. So that's not true, it's a fallacy. And I want to articulate why those sports are provided to New Zealanders, and it's because Sky and the codes themselves want all New Zealanders to be able to access sport in New Zealand. I mean, I know, as we all do, the value of sport. I've played sport, I've got a history of international sport, and I woke up this morning and it was incredibly interesting. I'm not sure if people saw, but Cricket Australia is going to increase their women players' annual retainer by 227%. Currently, those women get $79,000 a year. They're going to get $179,000, and in 2021 they will get $210,000. This is the women. Why? Because they got $590 million worth of broadcasting rights from Channel 9 and Channel 10. So, what do I expect will happen to some of our codes who are getting money from Sky to ensure that their sport continues to develop and thrive. Actually, what I'm hoping in New Zealand is that there will be more opportunities for women's sport and women to be professional athletes. And this bill undermines the integrity of that intent, not only by cricket, but I know by rugby and other codes in New Zealand. Kia ora.
I call Paul Foster Bell.